is
Haji?
when you say puna puna, actually this is what is required, because it is not the skill or knowledge, it is the attitude change.
हाँ तो मेरी एक फ्रेंड है, इनफैक्ट आई हैव मोर देन वन हु इज टीचर विद आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग, and she was sharing with me that he says puna puna, when you want to learn something, make it a skill, imbibe the learning, internalize it, puna puna, keep doing it again and again. And that was the intention of our session today, to revisit whatever we have done, starting with LSD in January, to the psychology of success, to stress, to smiles, to becoming a trailblazing leader. This has been a solid 6 month journey, and we have, so to say, done the heavy lifting now. This was the first 6 months was the most intense part of the program. The next 6 months will be relatively lighter. So I thought it will be a good time for us to pause and reflect on what we have done. And this is also a time we are taking almost a 1 month break in our journey to revisit. And in case, also use this as a reminder that in next 1 month you can revisit the sessions from the previous recordings from the previous session and derive benefit from that. So that was the intention. And on that note, I will now invite Anjana, who has very kindly volunteered to be the number one speaker for today.
So Ashish ji, just
Yes.
we will wait for others to join, because we don't need 3 people I can see on the call.
So it's already 8:52, Manoj, and
Okay.
I don't like really waiting, because then it's a disincentive for people who come on time.
Right. So Sesha joined, yeah.
Sasha has also joined. Good.
So people who had nominated them, they have joined.
Rosina also should be joining soon. Yeah.
Let's go.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Sasha.
Good morning.
Sasha, I hope you will be able to keep the camera on when you're speaking.
Yes, I will definitely.
All right. All right. Thank you, Sasha. So, Anjana, yes, you want to share something? You have.
Yes, please.
Okay. So you can share. You can go to the Zoom button and share.
I'll do that.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I just thought I'll make my life easier. And since I panicked and thought it was last week, after most of the work was done, I just had to relook at it and add one more perspective that you had mentioned yesterday.
Wow.
When
Oh, I'm impressed. Anjana, and I remember somebody talking about challenges with making PPT.
no, these PPTs are not challenges.
This is fairly good, man.
I still have something I've overlooked, but anyway.
Yeah, sure.
The effect of PPT is only when there's a person who wants to criticize purposefully, right, Anjana? Not otherwise.
Sorry, it could be. This is my take. I don't know. And also that if I want to, really making a PPT, putting pictures talks for itself, right? So I don't have to say less.
Excellent. Yes, go on, Anjana.
So this slide sums up the journey that we've had so far. Being, I would say, trailblazing leader, a person, however you would want to put it, right? You're talking about, sorry, I'm just going to put off my video. We're talking about being a person who is there, present fully and consciously, and beating your own earlier levels, right? Improving yourself and becoming a better person, a better leader, however you take it. So, being grounded is very important, and you have to soar in the air. So, that's where what we're looking at in terms of growing ourselves. So, a combination of the lion and eagle is what for me depicts the journey of where I am, where I want to be, and reach there. So this is the center of the theme. And we've had multiple, points that we've looked at, topics that we've looked at. So, starting from this Durga, Saraswati, and Lakshmi, primarily from the perspective that learning is always important. You have to keep learning in life, otherwise you become stagnant and you sort of become irrelevant to yourself. But just learning is not sufficient. It has to be implemented. And that's where, Durga comes to me as in just not a slayer of demons, but also, somebody who instills the qualities of a doer. Because whenever something had to be done, you had, the Durga avatar. And Lakshmi symbolizes multiple things, like you say, the Ashta Lakshmi, right? The 8 qualities a person has to have. And learning and doing without qualities sometimes is very unstabilizing because you can go off on a tangent. So these are the qualities of LSD and my take in interpretation on this. And
ಆ ಬಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಬಿಟ್ಬೇಡಿ ತಾತ, ಅದು ನೀರು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀರು ಅಷ್ಟರ ಏಸಿ.
And the first thing that you need to do is, understand reality. There is one, taking stock of what's happening today, which is reality. And second is that understanding that is this you have created for yourself or is this factual? Because a lot of times we create things, we think of things and we create it and we build that world when that probably may not be the real world. Okay. Even when we're talking about people, sometimes we create a perception, we create a mindset and a view of somebody. In reality, they may not be that. So it's very important to actually understand the reality in an open mind and then create the world and the perception. Okay? And not let it be clouded by our own wants and things to do. So this comes out in a lot of aspects in terms of when we looked at, a lot of modules that we looked at, starting from goal setting, right? When you look at a goal setting, you're talking about a goal setting which is personal in nature, aligned to what you want, and then aligning your career requirements to meet that personal goal. Because a lot of times when we just look behind chasing a career, we lose track of our personal goals and requirements, and then there is a lot of discontent and we're not happy. So that's what the next one is talking about. And then I'll jump to the right, below, the circle of influence. So we spoke about the circle of control in terms of what is controllable by us. We focus on that, because focusing on something that's not controllable as just makes us a lot more unhappy because you can't change it. So we just, get into a turmoil because we're trying to control something which is not in our hands. But then once, and 80% of our efforts should be in the circle of control. The next one is circle of influence, where you can't control it, but you could influence it. Or you could probably, to a large extent, get things to go the way you want it to go, but it's not 100% guaranteed. So you look at, the next 10 to 15% there. And then you have the circle of adaptation, where you need to adopt. You cannot control the things, you cannot influence it. So we need to adapt in a way that, okay, things are a lot more positive for us. It could be that we reset our mind, our views about certain things, or we let it go, or we adjust and, live with it and make peace with it. And the last but not the least is a circle of concern, where, there is nothing much we can do. We can show our empathy in this circle and then we let it go. So I'm looking at, identifying things and where they fall, and then acting on it so that it doesn't really trigger you, it doesn't really upset you. And uh, as long as you are peaceful, you can focus on what you want. Okay. The next one that came up to me a lot is that a mirror, right? A lot of times, what happens is, a quality or a mirror of what you are, what you should be, what you're not. Some things that are really troubling you, because if you're happy with things, then you really don't term it as a mirror. But when you're unhappy, there is something that triggers. So what is it? So this is showing a mirror to your own life to see what is troubling you, and either you act on it or you accept it and make peace with it. But also that it gets you to face just not your own shadows, but also the pluses and negatives, to understand it, um, to learn from what the other person is displaying, which is a mirror to you. Uh, and then, reflecting on it and changing yourself within if it seems fit and is required. Because sometimes, just because there is a different mirror that is there doesn't mean that you lose your good qualities and you move towards the other side. So it's just a point of, reflection is very important. So that's where this aspect comes in. And then in terms of time management, or I would say just not time management, management of all aspects that you're doing. I find this really, really important. And this is something which at times is consciously followed, but, we need to keep practicing it so it becomes, a subconscious or an unconscious activity that we all look to moving to the quadrant 2, where the productivity is maximum. Then you have enough time to handle everything else, and quadrant 1 stops taking so much of your time. And then it depends on what else you want to do. So, focus on and try always to be in quadrant 2. So this is my journey or my takeaways from the various modules we've had. And then we got asked for key takeaways, where or what. So in terms of specific modules, in terms of goal setting, this helps us provide clarity, align personal goals to career goals, and then take action. Unless we have clarity in what we want to do, it's very difficult to take an action. It'll all be on paper, it'll never be implemented. The next one was Lakshmi Saraswati Durga. So from here, what my takeaways are is that it's very important to build your skills. Right? We've all of us have built our knowledge, our content and abilities are already showcased. So now you need skills, because this is something that will take us to the next level and help us progress in life. Mentors and guides are a very important part of this journey, because they are people who are able to give you a very neutral view of yourself and help you on the path. Daily practice, without which all of this cannot be really done by default. We want to set in and train our various body mechanisms to do it automatically, so that it really doesn't take too much of our space, and then we are able to do something new. Execution of what we want to do. And once we start executing it, then look at excelling ourselves. So be a better person than yesterday, do it a little better than yesterday. This is what LSC talks about to me. And for TPOS, it's really blank. So you know how I'll talk about TPOS later. And stress to smiles, in terms of if we have taken the mentorship, the daily practice and execution, I think we really won't come to the situation of a stress. So it'll all be smiles. And in terms of BLT, which took a lot of, the portion of 6 months that we've been on this journey, time management is very important. Sharpening the saw, rather than that's the only thing that will let us skill ourselves, because unless we are on top of things, right, it's difficult and we will all get stuck in quadrant one. And the emotional quotient plays a huge part here. Um, Empathetic, compassionate leadership, looking at ego and letting go of it, because holding on to it or unconsciously holding on to the ego because it satisfies our needs, or it gives us a higher, makes us feel great at that point of time, doesn't really serve a purpose, because that's not what we were looking at. We're looking at achieving something. So yeah, these are the few takeaways that I have from the sessions. And this is my journey that I've had in the last 6 months. Clarity of thought, because yes, we want to do a lot of things and we pen it, we do it, but having a clarity of thought and linking it through the whole journey, and understanding where we are, using the mirror and resetting it, was really important. This was like a learning that was there, and it's brought a lot of calmness to me. A lot of conversations with my mentors and guides has also helped me through this. And then understanding the circle of influence. A lot of times we're very upset because there are some things that are not going our way. It cannot be done. And because it's not something that we can control, it upsets us even more, and we don't know what to do about it, because we try doing things and, when it doesn't happen, it upsets us more. The next one is skills and ability. An acknowledgement that at this stage, it is more skills and ability for us to grow and scale is what is important. The core knowledge and things have already been there and they've got us here. And it's more the soft skills. Yes, the hard skills are necessary, but I think we are so tuned to enhancing our hard skills that we've not focused sufficiently on the soft skills. The next one is reset. Reset is not only by learning, it is also pause and, like Ashish just mentioned now, a reflection and an understanding is very important. So, being agile and ready to press the reset button is very important in life, because the situations and circumstances are very, very different. And last but not the least is implementation. We go through this journey of 6 months, we learn a lot of things, we discuss things, but unless and until we implement it, we execute it in alignment to what we need or what we want in terms of our goals, the circle of influence, the skills that we have, okay, and align ourselves and be agile about it, not be stuck, and be ready to move and flow is what's, my most important takeaways from this journey. And last but not the least, consistency and repetition is the key. I mean, learning it, putting it in the book, and closing the book is not sufficient. So thank you for the time. And yeah, over to you, Ashish.
Thank you, Anjana. Very beautifully shared. And I'll in fact request everybody to share their one takeaway from what you have spoken about. But there is one thing that comes up to me, and I heard it repeatedly, is skills, developing skills. And that was a big realization for me also, that it is skills that make us the money. Not earlier, I used to think it's my job which makes me the money. But then I realized it's the skills that I have, and that could be soft skills, hard skills, anything. But जो हुनर है वो ही पैसा कमाता है. So that was one takeaway. Like I have made many notes, but if I get into that, then it will take up a lot of time. So I'll request everyone to just come in quickly and share one massive takeaway from what Anjana shared. Yes, Manoj ji.
So first of all, thank you. I'll tell you, And I'm going like, Ashi ji, we don't have to share anything else after she has shared and she has summarized so well. She's so well prepared, and I think really you deserve a big applause, first of all,
Thank you.
the way you have summarized the thing. So one takeaway from that was I was thinking is that uh, आईने को चाहे सोने में जड़ दो, आईने को like you put it in a golden frame, वो झूठ नहीं बोलता.
Ah.
So it is like our reflection, our life journey. We have to be what Anjana just said, that reflecting in the mirror. So it is the mirror that will never say lie. So we need to be true to ourselves, because this is my life journey or our life journey. So we should be seeing the reflection what the mirror is showing us, and work upon that, finding what needs to be done, building our capability or ability to execute. Next is developing those necessary skill set. And another thing she touched upon is like agility in execution. We should not stuck up, because you should not be too rigid. Sometimes we have to be flexible to accommodate changes, and then regain our vigor and then implement it. So these are the few takeaway for me from Anjana, what she said basically.
Thank you, Manoj. And who would you like to call next?
Manoj, I think he's there. Wait.
Yeah. So if you ask me one takeaway, I would like to bring about the consistency which Anjana mentioned. So that's the key for, at least for me, because I lack many times to being consistent. So for me to whatever actions we take, to be consistent on that, that's the key takeaway for me. Thank you.
But one thing I must compliment you on, Manoj, is you have been consistently attending the sessions. Last couple of them, till after your cricket thing got sorted out, you have been very consistent.
Thanks.
And who would you like to call next?
Shesha.
Okay, thank you, Manoj. Okay, so one key takeaway is circle of control and circle of influence. It's very important. What is under our control and what we can influence.
Thank you for sharing that. That's indeed a very powerful one, Shesha. And who would you like to call next?
Rosina.
Sorry?
Rosina.
Rosina. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Anjana. The presentation was amazing. It's completely, I recapped everything, and it gave me a lot of insights. And the key, I would say, the last slide of yours is like a frame for me, because it gives the whole perspective of the purpose of this SLP training. So it's certainly the clarity of thought, circle of influence, skills and ability reset, and the most important thing is practice, practice, and practice with consistency. That's the last two key takeaway for me.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Rosina.
much.
Yeah, very powerful ones. I'm glad you picked on that. And whom would you like to call next?
I'll call Abhishek, Dr. Abhishek.
Yeah, hi, good morning, guys. Sorry, I'm in a traveling mode. But two quick things. What I feel is what changes came in me is the execution part, the implementation part. I think that is the most important part. We can have information, we can have knowledge, but if we don't execute, it's of no use. And the second part, which I allowed throughout this journey so far, is taking a pause between a stimulus and a response. That was really beautiful. I mean, on both these parts, I'm still work in progress. I've reached to some level, but yes, I mean, there's lots to gain again. And so these are the two major aspects. There are multiple of them, but I want to thank Ashiji for his patience and consistency in trust in us that we are, kind of, the knowledge which he's giving, the skill sets which he's trying to uplift in us is actually getting imparted in our daily routine, in our habits, in our personality and character. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Abhishek. And whom would you like to invite next?
Yeah, Dhruv.
Dhruv.
Thanks, Abhishek. So Very good summary. Few quick points which stand out for me is having clarity of thoughts of what we want to achieve. At least for me, that is probably one of the confusing parts. Why aspects and visualizing it. I don't have an intermediate goal. I have something very, very, let's say, peak of Everest, but no intermediate milestones are there. And visualizing those intermediate milestones would help. Consistency of execution, another key takeaway in all these 6 months. Another key aspect is frequency on vibrations, positive thoughts, positive words, positive habits, forming those on a regular basis. Remember those funnel and different levels of vibrations. And fourth and key aspect is about your relationship. What are you doing towards the relationship? How are you adding your bank balance or relationship balance with each of the different stakeholders? Think about it consciously, execute on it consciously. So those are the top 4 key takeaways for me. Yes, LSD is definitely there. Some of which is already an action with me. But these 4 key takeaways is what I need to improve upon further. So that's my learning.
Good. That's very good awareness, Dhruv. Thank you very much. Now, Manojji, can I invite you to share your takeaways last 6 months journey?
Yeah. So thank you all, and I don't have a presentation first of all. No issue. So I think if I was reflecting back also, yes. So one thing that steps out is like Kabil bano, kamyabi khud aayegi. So that is one summarized I can see. And Ashish ji, in one of the session you said कि दशा से दिशा important है. So I think that is where it is like setting up the goal. So like disha ke liye we should have a clarity of our goal in the mindset first of all. And when we set up goal, we need clarity of mind and clarity of mind in thoughts basically. And that can be practiced through various forms of spirituality and other things that we had gone through this process. LHD, first of all, like society is the most important part. So sharpening the X, if we say, or learning, reading books. So that is another key takeaway for me that we miss out, or I miss out, I'll say rather, on reading out like a consistent and what you say, structured reading or structured learning process. And you kept a thought with us, or the team kept a thought with us, start with 5-10 minutes, even a few pages, and then we can ramp up to at least an hour sort of thing on an average of learning. So Saraswati is the most important. So learning is one thing that I asked, and networking followed by that networking, because that is the biggest investment that we need to consistently build up. And how do we use when we do that, how do we keep the relationship that we have built up in a strong mode, along with using various forms of, we can say, the AI tools and other things. How can we leverage those tools for our learning also? And so here the Lakshmi, both Saraswati and Durga comes into picture when we say AI tools and other things basically. And if we do these two things, Lakshmi is with us basically, and so that is what it is, and then followed by the psychology of success, like the mindset game that is there. Mind is a good servant, but mind needs to be what you say. Um, you said so. Mind should be our master, not our servant, basically.
We should master our mind. It's a very
Master
good
one. Yeah. We should master our mind. So and so here it is like man ke haare haar hai to man ki jeete jeet. So we should see that if we give away, or if we give up on something, then yes, we have lost the game before we start playing. So we should be having that courage, I will say, internally to develop that mindset. And when we in the whole way, like we go to the simple things of pleasure instead of taking pain in our day-to-day life, being healthy, like eating simple food instead of a junk food sort of thing that you had given example, or thinking consciously instead of thinking rubbish, or like unhealthy, like being physically, even I believe that if I'm physically fit, then I can deliver better. So if I'm invested on my maybe a yoga journey or meditation, or being doing some exercise sort of thing that I do incidentally consistently for last 13 years, I've been at least 30 minutes is me time, I say, every day. At least I don't compromise on that. And if I'm physically fit, then at least I can do my stuffs that I need to do going in office or at once. So this is one thing that comes here, like psychology of mind also says that. And thus, even I had gone through the book The Secret by Rhonda Brace, I think, and that is also like reinforce that understanding that how do we think on our mind, basically our mind start tuning on that. And so that was, and the circle of influence is again definitely our champion mindset, victor and victim. So this is one thing that I have started practicing this in my office also, with my team also. Sometimes things are there, I mean, and there are things that keeps on coming. Team is sometimes stressed, or I am also stressed sometimes. So I try to differentiate between stretch and stress. And another thing what Anjana kept is stress to smile also. That is another thing that I'll pick up. So I'll say stretch to stress, stress to stress, and stress to smile. So triple S is a theme that I was carrying 2 years. Now I'll say I've got 3 years now. Sanjana, thank you for giving that nugget to me. And so this I often discuss with the team. Basically, have the victor mindset. I can do attitude instead of giving up. And this has come to me also, like in 19 not 19 in 2009, I was working in a organization. It was an MNC again, my other organization. Things were messed up. I took charge of the finance of a unit, and really messed up things. And when I started sorting out things, there were a lot of resistance, basically. And one day I was really down, in the sense of how do I cope this up. So I had the victor mindset. I was feeling into the victim. I called the CFO and said, this is the issue. He said, Manoj, do what you want, you have the full backing of mine, but the biggest thing and quality I'm saying about you, you are fighting, you are standing on the border and fighting the people, basically, not running away. And that had given me such a strength, I'll tell you, in my life, that any situation when it comes, I don't run away. I say that I have to be, first of all, successful. Then if I say I have to no, I will say no only in this situation. Not today when I'm in the when I'm fighting the battle. Like, the war is not over, basically, right? So let me fight that till the end. And what will happen, let me see. And every time I find that, okay, there can be ups and down, and I come up successful. Yes, there may be some dent here and there, that help happens, basically, when you do something like that. But yes, that victor mindset is one thing that I'm practicing with my team also, with myself and my team also, and bringing that attitude. I can do attitude, or can do attitude, instead of giving up anything and everything. So, and another thing, what you said at that point of time is life is like a printout or manifestation of the mind, basically, something like that. The printer would be giving the printout how it is instructed. So how we think, how we do things, accordingly the deliverable should be according to that. So we need to have that, and when we do this, our limiting belief would be playing a role, basically. है ना? हमसे नहीं होगा, say I can do it. That's what I was saying, that that thought process have to inculcate. Why I cannot do it when any human being can do. Why I cannot do, basically. So that have to happen, basically. And another thing that will remain is removing the weeds in the whole journey. Basically, the weeds consume a lot of energy. We need to find out those weeds and just see that how do we remove those weeds from our life, basically. So then we have that time management, the productive time on that. If you go to that not important, not urgent, the fourth quadrant. So I say the weeds are lying there, basically, which kills or sucks our time away. So we need to find out which, and that I correlate with the what we said, the time management journey that we discussed. And that has again helped me, though the Johari Wando was not a first thing for me, but yes, this is reinforcing. And when I did the exercise for a day, first of all, in the session that we are having, then I extrapolated that to a week. And when I extrapolated to a month, it was like eye-opening for me that the number of hours I spent in office, which is the main circle of influence, or I'll say our life is around, I find that I spent lesser time in office than the time I'm wasting basically in my life. And how much time we are having on our learning path, on our development path, this relationship building, everything is there. Only thing is how to channelize our energy there and see that how can we take it. So am I successful in doing that? I'll say not yet. Yes, at least a consciousness, what you say, when if you need to do something, there have to be a consciousness. Yes, that consciousness is slowly coming into picture, and then the consistency of execution would be one thing. And another is the emotional quotient. When you say that emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, right, that between stimulus and response, a pause. Yes, this is one practice that I need to really do. I'm really a little bad on that, I'd say. But yes, this is one thing that is really I practiced it sometime earlier also, and whenever I have done that, I'm really successful. I see, and that success I need to carry. Not a single miss should be there, I say, because that is sometimes I miss out, I say, uh, being a little emotional person. But yes, this one thing that I need to be 100% successful. That is one another consciousness that I am trying to build up on that. Followed by the consistent shift from I to E when you said compassion leadership, and the nuggets those were given by our brigadier was like knowledge is quick, skill is a little time, but attitude really takes time. So that is another important thing that has remained with me. Like yes, attitude cannot be changed in a day. But we have to practice it, and that is where everything comes, be it the stimulus, pause, response, circle of influence, or the circle of control. I think if we see the change of attitude would be bringing all the journey, be it our LHD, be it the circle of concern or influence, be the victor mindset, be the victim mindset, everything comes and accumulate on change of attitude. And when we can do that, and at the end, the last session that we had, the sharpening of X, definitely, I think this is the summary of all the things that we are doing, like uh, investing on ourselves. The resource is the most important thing. So investing on ourselves. So it is not only the learning path, it is the health also, I'll say. One is definitely we say we need to be more have knowledge, so that is one. But when we say knowledge, we should be keeping equal focus on our health, because if we are healthy, then only we can deliver. So that is, and when you say healthy, it is both on the physical side and the mental side. By practice some sort of spirituality, it can be differing from people to people, be it a meditation, whatever way a person listening to a song can be a meditation also. Sometimes listening a soft music or whatever, the person can feel calm and composed, basically, whatever sort of. So those were my I think my thoughts. So uh, दिशा दशा से दिशा important है. Another thing, Ashish ji, you said that if you cannot walk, if you cannot walk, at least you take steps, or if you cannot take that, also at least crawl till you are doing or moving on the what you say, on the right direction. That definitely is going to, so the disha, then the disha is there, right? So you have to move to the disha. The race or the time can be depending on like how fast a person can do implement on overall. That's the thing. But at least the disha should be clear. We should start the journey, even, and then have a consistency on that. And so I sum up with the again the last first phrase of mine: काबिल बनो, कामयाबी खुद से खुद अपने कदम पे आएगी. So I end here with my thoughts, my learning. And thank you, Ashish ji. Thank you, the whole team. I think the way we had some interacting session, I feel a safe place here to voice over things. Even when I give example, we give example from our personal life or from our office, like basically, without naming the organization definitely. But we definitely, I feel space safe when we bring in those examples or we voice over, we open up ourselves. So thank you, team. And simultaneously, we had a very good learning. Definitely, we'll be connecting back. It's not today we are ending, or how do we are taking the journey ahead. So thank you so much for the impressions, I will say. that had been created on me, but definitely it's now my part to uh, uh, consistently practice that and implement these things, how much we can do. And one thing that I missed out was that my part was the finance, that learning, what you said, the financial learning you said is that expenses, like income minus your savings should be on expenses for so that is my core, but I missed out that one thing. I thought I missed out in the whole discussion. That is another important, though I'm a finance guy, but another most important thing that you kept, even that you have written on my desk also, income minus your savings should be expenses. So so that is another important thought that you have kept with this. So thank you so much. Thank you, Ashiji. Thank you, whole team.
थैंक यू मनोज जी। आई थिंक आपने गागर में सागर भर दिया। वेरी नाइस। एंड आई थिंक ए ग्रेट gesture to acknowledge the team, because I completely agree with you. If ever, this team is a very special team, and the way we hold out space for each other to listen and share and voice our concerns, challenges is very important. So thank you for sharing that. Now I'll quickly invite everybody to pose a quick question or comment or takeaway. Make it quick. One question, comment or takeaway from what Manoj ji shared.
So I can say the golden nugget is about income minus saving is equal to expense. So most of I think entire career have been using the other way around. Income minus expenses, we go and try to save something.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Manoj, for that reminding. It's very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. Whom would you like to call next?
Dhruv.
दशा से दिशा important है.
Very nice. Thank you. That's my favorite one too, Dhruv. And whom would you like to call next, Dhruv?
Rosina.
Yeah, for me is काबिल बनो कामयाबी खुद ही आएगी.
Arre wah, very nice, very nice. That is very true, Rosina. Thanks for sharing. Rosina, who would you like to call next?
Anjana?
Anjana is just back. Anjana,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah. So I love the way that Manoj ji puts across things, and I love his few bits of shairi, just and, especially in a language that I am not most comfortable with, but I understand. It's like quick nuggets, right? And it stays with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And two things that actually stood out for me, or was a call out for me. One was that knowledge, skill, and attitude. And I think it's bang on because I see myself, I see people, you have the knowledge, the skill, but because you're stuck in a particular attitude, and this could be because of limiting beliefs or whatever, I'm not justifying it, but there are a lot of things. Attitude gets built up with you over time. It could be a chip on your shoulder that's bringing that attitude, but you don't realize it. You've learned enough to let go of that particular shortfall, but it just becomes second nature to you, right? You don't even know what triggered and why you built in that attitude. A lot of times, like you could say it, most of the times, at least 30-40% of the time, I find it being more from a defensive angle that you built that attitude, and you don't realize that you're still carrying it with you when you don't have that shortfall anymore. And the other thing is that the same thing in terms of this, because we all till we understand the direction and what we want, we are all looking at the dasha today, right? And yes, rightfully so, dasha, what is there every minute for us. Disha is like I think when we go to sleep or when we get up or when we pray or when we make a wish list, Disha comes into play. But the other 20, I would say like 18 hours, it's Dasha.
Even the time you spend in SLP is Disha.
That's why I said 18, 20 hours. So I'll leave. I mean, you're sleeping, and then you're doing something which is concrete. Otherwise, you get so bogged down with
we get caught
what
in
is
the whirlwind.
happening now.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I mean, we find it difficult to actually, if you learn to rise above it, right? And look at the disha, like, I mean, okay, fine. So these are the two things. And yes, somewhere I mean, courtesy, a very good friend and mentor in the financial space. I think in the last couple of years, I've been trying to do this, income minus savings as expense.
Very nice.
Because
Very
he
nice.
sort of hounds me every day, and then he calls me every week. So when you're answerable to somebody, then you have to give the right answer. How many times can you give him the wrong answer? Because finally, when you say, show me a portfolio, it comes up, right? You haven't been doing what you say you've been doing. So you can't keep fooling yourself too long. So, yeah.
Thank you. Whom would you like to call next, Sanjana?
And before I think, yeah, Dhruv, I'll just take 1 more minute, and thank you Ashish ji, and thank you Vaishnavi. I'll say she's not in the call definitely, for asking us to sharing this. I'll tell you. So definitely, when I got the call from Vaishnavi, I was not well at all yesterday. One or other reason, bad throat and all that. I was like, but that I pulled up myself and I said I had gone through everything and tried to see that okay, really the reflection uh, comes back with all the things that we do. And thank you, Ashiji, for bringing
Thank you.
this knowledge. I'll say the learning session that we have done. So this is reinforcing our learning consciously or subconsciously. With sharing this is most important part, I believe,
Yeah.
that is coming up for me. So thank you.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And
Thank you.
convey my thanks to Vaishnavi also for
Sure.
taking those calls, reminding us to join these sessions on Sunday and all that. But yes, she had done a bit. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Manoj.
I would just like to add a word to Vaishnavi. I mean, for Vaishnavi, though I've spoken to her. Ashish, you mentioned about my consistency of turning up, right? I've now sort of gotten used to it. That when I see the phone ring in Vaishnavi, I pick up the call and say, yes, 8:45, I'll be there. I told her last, yesterday,
exactly.
that was the comment I gave her. And she's like, no, 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 I'm not calling you for that. I'm calling you to tell you that, okay, you have to, not only this, we wanted ways also. I said, okay, that's one more job I have to do. But yes.
All right. So who would you like to call next, Sanjana?
Dhruv?
Yeah.
So in terms of see, I have not prepared the slides.
No, this is your response to what Manojji said. Your one or two takeaways from
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he
So
said, or your questions to him, if you have any.
yeah, so my takeaway was Dasha se Disha important hai.
Okay.
That's and just to add, the way Manojji comes out with this words on a regular basis, it actually has a lot more lasting impression on human mind than going for, let's say, 10 minutes of
Yeah.
giving the same content, that rhyming and like एक सेंटेंस में या 4 वर्ड्स में वो पूरा मीनिंग दिमाग में
Wow.
घुस जाता है.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Very beautiful. That's very powerful, Dhruv. Thanks for sharing that. Whom would you like to call next, Dhruv?
Abhishek?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So thank you everybody. Thank you Ashiji. Thank you Manojji for beautiful aspects in the revision mode today. I think three things which I can recollect right now is I'm not writing my notes today. I'm trying to recollect. Okay, so yeah, one was stretch to stress and stress to smile, which he mentioned that Ashiji mentioned 2S and he has added third S to it. So I think yeah, stretch to stress and stress to smile.
Yeah.
And another thing which he said is removing weeds from your life. There are a lot of weeds. You have to identify them, and those are the roadblocks. And once you remove that, life will directly come onto the track. And third and the last one, which I loved what he said, is awareness to consciousness and consciousness to consistency. So you are aware, you're conscious, and you're consistent. Like the brigadier also said that, a knowledge we have skill, but if we don't have attitude, it won't happen. So changing the attitude, because attitude is everything. So these are some of them. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing, Dr. Abhishek. And whom would you like to call next?
Shesha?
Good. Thanks, Abhishek, and thanks, Manoj, for all the tukudas. That was really good. The one key takeaway that I have is especially on the consistency, consistency and execution. The other one is responding to the stimulus. What's our response to the stimulus?
Right.
How it should be.
Okay. Thank you, Sasha. And now, Manoj, while you were not, I think you may have missed, Dhruv was sharing something very interesting. कि जब मनोज जी बात करते हैं तो 4 शब्द में ही सब कुछ समझ में आ जाता है। इतने अच्छे शब्द, इतने अच्छे सुंदर तरीके से शब्द यूज करते हैं कि 10 मिनट में लगता है पता नहीं कितना हमने ज्ञान प्राप्त किया। So that was very
God.
nice. Yeah.
No. Incidentally, a friend of mine was calling me repeatedly. I thought of just telling him.
अरे तो आप रिकॉर्डिंग देख लीजिएगा when
Sure.
when Dhruv is
I think
speaking.
Manoj has got an effect of Sadhguru, because Sadhguru is an awesome orator. So I think that effect has come with Sadhguru.
Very nice, very nice. Company makes a difference.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Manoj, you want to go next? Or is it Sasha? Sasha is next, yeah.
Okay, sure. Is my screen visible?
We can see you, Sasha.
Is the screen visible?
Screen, no.
Okay. Oh, let's share the screen.
It's coming up.
By the way, I believe I am seeing Sesha first time on screen. Normally, he is always
Really?
video off.
Oh,
Rarely I've seen him putting his video on.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
sorry. Okay. Sure.
Sasha, can you make this full screen? Your presentation PPT?
Yes. Oh, Shabni,
Otherwise, this is good. You can talk about it. Yeah.
I can zoom in. I don't know. I'm not getting that
Okay.
control.
All right. No worries. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, thanks, Ashish, for this 6 months of learning plan.
Excuse me, Shasha. You can
Yeah.
see there's a slideshow option. You can use that.
Correct. But this thing, it's not allowing me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. No problem. You can carry on.
Okay. So some of the key takeaways that I have, especially are managing money. So after that exercise on how to manage money, I spend time with my son and also my daughter on how much we earn and what's the expenditure that we have. So this also helped the children to understand what money is all about. And subsequently, was not aware of the digital insurance. So this is one thing that I got to know, that because of all the frauds that happen with the money. So digital insurance is one thing that I learned, and I signed up for it. And coming to the next one after Lakshmi is Saraswati. This is about sharpening the axe. So we have to spend time in learning new things every day. It's apart from learning, it has to be implemented, which makes it very relevant. Else, whatever learning that we have fades away in over a week. So until we start implementing that, it sticks on. Okay. The next one is about time management. So how do we manage time and what are the things that we do so that we spend maximum time in quadrant Q2? Understand what are the time wasters, how our effort should be so that we spend most of the time in quadrant 2. Apparently, our estimation of time in Q2 was much, much lower than what the industry leaders spent. So we have to move from 30% to close to 70% in quadrant 2. I'm using this feeding the mind and the body in sharpening the axe because it makes sense to put it in this bullet. So what we feed the mind and what we feed the body will make us better tomorrow. Okay. So which also makes whatever thoughts are, it makes an individual. The thoughts make an individual. The choices we make will will make us we will start to do it as a habit, and that habit is what will be imbibed in us. So doing daily reflections is one thing that we will have to incorporate maybe early in the morning or just before we sleep on what went wrong, how it could be better, and what are the things that we are grateful for. The next thing is the circle of control and then the circle of influence. So what we can influence and what we can't is the main thing in circle of control and circle of influence. The next one is the emotional intelligence, how people have to be treated differently. So one example that I want to give is, so I've been with the team and I used to send them birthday cakes and also talk to their family members or their friends and used to get a small snippet of their videos uh, and then showcase it to the team on the small videos and then the photos that I used to get from their family or their friends. Apparently, with all the male members, I got a very good response. But however, one of the female members I tried to do, which did not go well with her and also with the team members. So I thought, okay, I could use the same scale for everyone, but this one did definitely tell me that, okay, people have to be treated differently. The next one is, yeah, stimulus and response. Instead of responding, instead of reacting, we learn to respond. And the other thing is also mirroring how the other person is. So which help us to connect in their words and also in their actions. So last but not the least is consistency and execution. To be consistent and to execute all the time. So this is the one thing that one slide which is has some pictures. So from being a charcoal to a diamond, these are the steps that we would be needing to do day in and day out. Okay. Sharpening the axe, uh, choosing the path. Either we do a victim or we go in the victim way or the victor way. So money management, and we are the people who need to manage ourselves So Aham Brahmasmi is the one big takeaway that I learned from Ashish ji.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sasha. And I really like the part about how I am the creator. You have put dimensions to that. So, your plan to reach to become the creator and start thinking and behaving like one. I think that's very powerful. I also like your sharing about emotional intelligence. I think that was very good that you realize that different folks need to be treated differently. So that was good. And now I'll invite everybody to quickly share their comments or their questions to Sasha. Sasha, if you like, you may stop sharing your presentation. I
So I
also
will
like,
go.
yes, Manoj.
Sorry, Ashish, you're saying something.
Now, I was saying I also like the fact that he shared about money management with his children. So that was very good. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love the concept of this charcoal to diamond, right? So like yes, what we think we are, and we can definitely improve ourselves. But the journey have to be there. I think that's the story behind it. But that gives really some thought to me. A charcoal and diamond, I think that depiction basically. Thank you, Sisha, for picking that thought. Brashmani is definitely a much bigger thought, but out of that, I'm picking up that charcoal
Yeah. Thank you, Manoj. Who would you like to call next?
Sisha is my partner. Manoj Nair again.
Actually,
Same
that was
number.
also I was also about to say the same thing about the metaphor of charcoal to diamond. Apart from that, about sharpening the axe, right? So, and getting the mindset from victim to victor mode. So that was a good takeaway.
Yeah, very nice. It's a choice. Yeah. Thank you. Manoj, who would you like to call next?
Abhishek.
Yeah, I think thanks, Shesha, for that presentation. I couldn't see it, but I could hear it. But I think what you said is feeding mind and body will create an outcome. Allowed that part. That is definitely true. And grateful, I always think that, attitude, gratitude, we should have that attitude of gratitude, and, that always keeps us grounded, and we can reach new heights. And Brahmasmi is definitely, the key from your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dr. Abhishek, whom would you like to call next?
Dhruv.
Thanks, Shesha. A lot of good things which you reminded, but the most strong thing which came out was that picture of diamond and charcoal. It's like it's the same thing, but how you have over a period of time a person can polish himself to become a diamond. That's the most strong message coming out.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Dhruv, and whom would you like to call next?
I think Rosina is
Yeah.
Anjana. Either of them. Rosina, go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Shasha. The presentation was amazing. Uh, for me, again, charcoal to diamond. And today morning, I just had a WhatsApp message which shows uh, the image of a charcoal and a diamond, showing like a heap of charcoal kept on one side, saying this is the quantity, and on the other side, the diamond was there, which says its quality. So you have to work on that way. So that was a takeaway for me.
Okay.
I'll share that image with the group today.
Sure, Rosina. Yes, Anjana, next.
Yeah, I think each one from here has a very different perspective and a takeaway of the same topic, which I'm loving because sometimes, like I said, um, we're looking at things with our own glasses, right?
Yeah.
We don't see others'
Yeah.
perspectives, so which is really important. And that, I love this interaction, the sessions or the discussions that we have where people, like you say, it's a safe space to bring in your own view. I mean, no matter judgmental, like I could say that but what comes out from here is from, it's just calling my mind back. That again, charcoal to diamonds, when we go through the stresses, okay, or the process of, something happening to us, we don't believe that it's for our good. We think of the pain that we're going through. And sometimes the pain is something that we imagine. Right? We don't let us experience the process and then get the polish and move on. Like, one more facet and one more facet. Like you could have a 52 cut diamond and a lot of it. So the attitude and the ability to view things, which has come out. And yes, we've been all talking about more, about learning and our mental well-being, right? In the sense when I'm talking about we're talking about everything to do with the mind and the psychology of things. But what Shesha did mention is body and mind. If our body is not supportive, then the mind won't. You can't do it. So thanks, Shesha, to bring that back to the forefront.
Yeah. And another interesting thing which you mentioned and none of you have mentioned is cybersecurity insurance,
Oh
which
yes,
is like,
I was thinking of it. I said, how the hell did I miss it? Because not for a thing, but in my own personal life, right?
Yeah. So
When
we
you're
we talked
studying,
about it when we were doing the LSD, and the bottom part of LSD, that pyramid framework was insurance, life, health, then disability, cybersecurity, home. So that's where we had discussed. So he's gone ahead and acted on that. So
yeah,
that was
he's
another
gone and
good
at a
thing.
personal digital security. So it's awesome.
Personal
Yeah.
cybersecurity policy. Yes. Which one did you take, by the way, Sasha?
I don't remember, Ashish. I have to go
Okay.
check.
Who sold it to you?
I think no.
No, no worries.
Let me send it to you.
No worries. So I'll share the details of DigiSecure, uh, who you can reach out to for security in our group. So in case any one of you is planning to do that. Yeah, Manoj, over to you, Manoj Nair. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ashish, for this opportunity. Very exciting journey over the last 6 months. Definitely, it was a roller coaster for me. The things happening at my personal front and specifically on the professional front. So to give a small background, I will just take 1 minute. I wanted to reach out to each one of you separately as well. Anjana, Sisha, Dhruv, I will be reaching out to you. I was working in an organization. It's a 110-year-old French company, and it got closed one fine day. The employees did not get the salaries as well for the month of Feb, and it was quite an interesting period I'm going through while I'm hunting the job. The point I'm trying to make over here is during the lockdown period, during the 2020 period, also I lost my job. That's when and it was an 18 months of period wherein I was jobless, and with the association of Ashish Mindful Living, it was just a cakewalk for me. I when I look back, I can say that definitely it was my one of the best period, giving time to the family. I stayed in Kerala in my ancestral place with my family, so kids were having online classes, everything. So it was one of the best period. So that perspective, I can definitely say with the association of Ashish and Mindful Living with the positive framework, and uh, that's the reason I can say now when I don't have a job and I'm hunting for it, the metaphor things that with that coal I can polish it again to become a diamond again, and have a better opportunity. So now coming back to the thing, I was going through it. I was because of time constraints yesterday having a small birthday party for my son, so I was a bit occupied. I could make the PPT, could not make the PPT, so I'm just going through it, my notes, and identified that there were so many things, Ashish. To start with, I can say about the takeaway from the values. always I thought that values cannot be changed. But I myself, when I look back, um, so while we are recording, I can say that 20 years back, when we 22 years back, when we started the professional careers, people, almost everyone used to have some of the things not good. For I can say myself also, for small example of faking out the LTA bills to get the tax benefits. I'm talking about 20 years back. Okay, so slowly when you grow in the in your career, you understand that's wrong thing. And trust me, over the last 10 years, I did not do any such thing, because we understand the scrutiny can happen more. So this is a small example. People do the rent receipts as well. Okay, so now we have reached at a stage. I remember, Ashish, you said that we should connect with 10-15 minutes, so share the our career perspective, other skills also. So in case if anyone is interested, just Manoj Agarwal ji might be aware that the income tax department have come to at that stage wherein it is mandatory for an employer to upload the PAN number of the owner. Now, if someone says that, okay, he has received the rent from X owner, the X owner do not report that income, the rental income, he will receive a notice. And now the owner can say that, okay, I never received this payment. Now the notice comes to the employer to verify that on what grounds you have given the tax exemption to the employee, stating that X owner's PAN number is there. Okay, so now as an employer, we need to scrutinize we take the rent receipts bills from the employees, and then we respond to those notices. Okay, so we can go in detail. So I'm connecting this with the values, the actions, but the change of not submitting any fake bills since over the last 10-15 years. That is how the system has changed, and it is scrutinizing and identifying any fraudulent activities to take the tax benefits. Okay, so that was quite good, Ashish. Now we talked about, I recollect, on the possibility of infinity. The example of the mango tree. So one mango tree bears hundreds of mangoes, and the seeds have an infinite possibility to create more hundreds of trees, and from that hundreds of fruits, right? So, so every challenging, I look back on myself and say that, okay, the challenges which I'm facing definitely is going to have an infinite possibility for me, which we are exploring, not only restricting to looking for another job. I can explore about giving consultancy or any other activities as well. Um, and when we spoke about the time management, you gave a metaphor of the BBC, boring but critical. So that happens many times, that whichever is the most critical thing, we feel okay, that's boring, and we try to postpone it as much as possible. Um, Another thing I can look upon is about, Ashish gave the guidance about the 2-minute rule. So whichever I was always when we talk about the emotions, I have that the thing which I'm supposed to do and I don't do that, I feel guilt about that. Okay, so that's the reason I many times, I think over these sessions also I've been quoting that, okay, I've been not been consistent, not been consistent. Ashish throws me back, said that, okay, Manoj, you are coming to, on every Sundays, you have adjusted your cricket timings. So I'm trying to reach over there. So I need to acknowledge what I have been doing good. I've been like mentally punishing myself that, okay, I'm not able to do, I'm not doing it. But when I look back, I definitely am. I am being consistent in many activities. So maybe missing some of the things, but uh, I should not punish myself for that. So energy, we discussed on the energy about, sorry, emotions, that energy in motion, wherein we could identify what are the emotions which we go through, and identify which gives you, brings you down. Okay, for discomfort, which are the emotions that bring discomfort, hurt, anger, frustration, etc. And emotion what empowers you. So having the distinguishing between those bringing down and empowering emotions, from an empowering emotions, I can say about the love and the warmth, appreciation, gratitude, curiosity, contributions, etc. That brings our uh, makes us empowered from an and understand the emotions what we are going through. And when I look back, one of the most powerful I can say is about practicing the pause, wherein that Viktor Frankl said that between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is the power to choose our response. Uh, I can definitely relate. While when we have such a situation at home, we sometimes accidentally, that happens very very rare. Obviously, with my 10 years son being very very naughty, I accidentally yell at him. So now these days I am trying to practice, okay, to give a pause and understand him what he's saying. Uh, so that was quite powerful for me, Ashish. Thanks for that. And also about the continuing with the emotions, wherein Brigadier Vidur spoke about, gave an example of one of the commandant did not punish for a person who came late from a vacation from the leave. So he did not punish, and he gave that example that his family, who had a tradition of having people from generations sending someone to the army, and if he punish, the new bride would be impacted, and so on, so on and so forth. So uh, the emotional decisions or emotional the decisions which we take, it's not only impact ourselves or the person nearby, it might impact the extended family as well. So that was quite powerful. And I again sharpening the axe, so and not to be in a victim mode, we should be always on a victor state. So these were my takeaways from our sessions, LSD as well as Trailblazer. Ashish, thank you so much.
Thank you, Manoj. And one thing I really appreciate is you're being so authentic, and that really stands out. And the take you have on the infinite possibilities coming in from challenges also is something which I appreciate. Thank you very much. Yeah. And now I'll invite people to post their questions or comments to Manoj quickly, and then we'll move on. Uh, Anyone? So, yes,
Yeah,
Manoj.
I want to thank you for sharing. First of all, I want to congratulate you. Congratulate you from the aspect like you are going through so much thing in the personal life, it seems. But being in the session when you have got a pleasant smile on your face. And I think this is practicing spirituality. Like how you are in the state of mind is very important. And and parallel, you are working upon things that you can do. So first of all, I'd say, and that's a learning for me. So like there are things that happens for each one of us, whatever way. Another, I'll not say piece of advice, but children are not naughty. Children are children. It is how we perceive them and we put a tag on them. I'll say be like your child. That will change a lot of things.
Sure.
And I think one thought that you kept, I think we discussed few things. Definitely, I love most of them. But BBC boring to critical. I think that nugget stays with me in the whole discussion. Otherwise, so thank you for bringing that. So time management in office, that can be always a issue from BBC. Like certain things needs to be done. People may not like it, so BBC is, and for personal life also. Sometimes we don't like something, but it needs to be done. So thank you for keeping that thought or nugget. Thanks. So over to Shesha. Hello.
Thanks, Manoj. Yeah. So one takeaway is BBC is the one takeaway that I had, especially on time management. That we, even though It is boring and critical. We'll have to spend time on it, doing it. Without that, there is no go. Thanks, Manoj.
Thank you, Sashu. Who would you like to call next?
Okay. Yeah, Dhruv.
So, thing which stood out other than the BBC, energy is emotions. What are the emotions which hurt you and emotions which empower you? So that is true for all of us. There are emotions, ups and downs in the emotions, being observant of those emotions, and also the space between stimulus and response. So that the two key things which stand out for me in this, besides the BBC aspect.
Thank you, Dhruv. And come to think of it, emotions is all that we are doing in our life, From the time we are born, everybody feeling happy, to the time we die, when hopefully people will feel sad, to in between, We are all uh, we are studying to get better marks, to earn more money, get a job and be happy, marry and be happy, or be healthy and be happy. So it's all about the whole life is actually about managing emotions. And if we can learn to manage them well, then I think that is the real mastery that we are looking at in our life. So thank you, Manoj, for bringing that out. Yeah. Dhruv, would you like to call out next?
Anjana?
Thank you, Dhruv. I think, Manoj, thank you for bringing to forefront a couple of things, but like most of them has already mentioned. I think what I loved was the fact that you're talking about emotions, possibilities, and a pause. And I think what also brings back to my mind is um, giving control of our emotions to somebody else and then expecting us to be happy or content doesn't work. So if you decide to give control to somebody, then don't expect everything to happen your way. And I think also what comes is from boring BBC. A lot of things that we think it's boring, we don't need to do it, let somebody else do it. And then we're not willing to look at the emotions that come out of it, right? So
Yeah, thank you.
all of this ties in, when I put down the points, and when I'm just looking at it, it all comes back to the same point.
Yeah.
Take, what you want, you take control. What you don't want, then you let somebody else do it. But if somebody is doing it, then don't get impacted by what the outcome is. And if you pause, then you'll realize all of this, and you won't let yourself be unhappy. It's all, and everything is an impact of an action we take.
Yeah. Thank you, Anjana. And is Rosina there?
Rosina,
Ah,
yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Manoj. You covered everything which I was supposed to. Okay, so for me, the takeaway is 2 to 3 points which I would put up. One is values can change. So the authenticity you show and the integrity you had shown up in the taxation, that's a very good point which I'll certainly take care of. Second is BBC, boring but critical. So that's the point which I would certainly work on. And the important is a 2 minute rule, that you want to do something. So that time Ashish has shared this with you. Since that time, what I have started doing is like, I used to have that time, time nahi hai, time nahi hai. So now whenever I get some little bit of time also, that 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever the small nuggets, so something or the other I do it, and I've started working towards that part of it, like, getting time for my own self and doing something. So it has really helped me in developing my time management, and making more time for myself, so that I can practice more and I can start. So that has really helped me. Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you, Rosina. Thank you, Manoj. And now we'll invite Dhruv.
For my presentation, okay. If you can give me 5 minutes, I'm actually preparing the PPT while we are speaking. I'm using AI, Ashish, in the background.
All right. So, Rosina, are you ready to go?
Yes, I'll cover some of the points because many of the points have been covered by
Sure.
our colleagues, and that was one of the reason because I couldn't make my PPT.
No,
So
we don't need PPTs. We just need you to share.
yeah,
So, yeah, go on.
so
Keep
the
your camera
thing,
on if you can.
yeah, I'm like in a zone where I won't be
All
able
right.
to.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing is which I we talk about was the finances, and that was really an eye-opening. And in that, like Manoj said, ROS, returns on savings, that is income minus savings is equals to expenses. So that was one takeaway, and in that as well, the money jar, which we have missed, the concept of money jar. So that is 50,
Yeah.
30, and 20 rule of budgeting. That's
Correct.
the way we have to work it out. That's what is, and most important is what is financial freedom quotient. So that is passive income divide. That is formula which has been given is like really helping me out. So passive income divided by expenses into 100. That's with the way we have taken out. So that's one important part which I guess is more important for me at this point of time. And then we had this sessions on psychology of success, and in that we had this taking responsibility, identifying your issues and taking responsibilities and starting working on it. That is more important than anything else. If I could sum up to this topic, because it says success is 80% of. I guess I missed that. Yeah, success is 80% of psychology,
Okay.
and that's one thing. And there's one more thing which you had mentioned, Ashish, which has really struck me, and that is belief. There's a lie in belief.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like how the way you change your belief system, everything will around you will change. So
Correct.
you don't have to believe into those lies and everything. If work as per the time and make it out, make the best out of it. That's what I have taken. And the importance of journaling. There's one more point which I would like to put up is ego. And for that, you had mentioned that we are staying in a loop. So the state of being is like if you are below 200 hertz, so you are into a self ego self pattern, which is a vicious loop.
Correct.
So if you are saying that okay, look, we are still, why are you into the loop, and so that means you have to check it at what frequency, from which frequency you are operating from. And if you want to work from the soul self, that is you have to move beyond 200 hertz. So that's where the breakthrough happens. So that's the
Yeah.
key point for me.
Very beautiful, Rosina, and truly appreciate your sharing these. Uh, just like to clarify, rate of savings is what percentage of your income do you save? So if somebody is earning 100 rupees, whether he is saving 20 rupees or 10 rupees or 30 rupees, that is rate of saving. And what we discussed was that we talk about rate on investment. We don't talk about rate of saving. So saving, what percentage of our salary we save is also very important. And of course, that's where the formula that you mentioned about comes in. That
Yeah,
salary income minus savings is equal
civics.
to expense. Thank you for bringing up about money jar. I think that was very beautiful. And financial freedom quotient, taking responsibility, that being 80% responsible, beliefs, egos. I think beautifully captured, Rosina, and I'm so happy for you that you're on this journey and really benefiting so much from it. Yeah, thank you.
And one thing I want to share with you guys was like since we started this, I managed to start getting some clients also. I started working on that, and since for the past almost more than 5 years, I'm no, not even more than 5 years, like since 2016, 17, I'm having this challenge, like to buy a laptop, because if I have some funds or anything, something or the other comes up, and this was the similar pattern. And in this 2 days back, one of the client he said that I'll be sponsoring you for a laptop, and that also whichever one you want, like it's not that just uh, a budgeted one, but whichever you want, you just tell me. I'll see to it that the money's been arranged for you. So just working out on that.
Well, amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Anybody quick comments on what Rosina shared? Any questions to her? Any takeaways you have?
Power of manifestation.
Yes, yes.
Power of manifestation is one. Then journaling, power of journaling. I think that is another thought she brought up. I think I missed out that. So,
Okay.
Regina, just if I can, or permit me to ask, if you're comfortable, you can answer. So, what sort of field you are in? So, just to understand, like from the consultancy side or your client side. Just
Yeah, there's
if
one
you are
more thing.
comfortable.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. And there's one more thing I want to add before I answer your question. Is Ashish, that earlier I was into a career of web designing, development, and finances and everything. And at one point of time, I had sidelined that and I had taken up counseling and everything. Now today, after the sessions and everything, is like I can go with both, and I've started working on both the aspects at this point of time, like using
Right.
AI and other things. And Manojji, to answer your questions, with the profession big finance, I was working with e-learning teams and with CNBC and Tata Interactive Systems, and I have developed many web applications and many things. And with that, I was with Computer Society of India, so I've got a good exposure on event management, and that also I have worked with. And there was after my graduation, there was a turning point in my life where I got into counseling. So now I'm into holistic healing, and I have learned various modalities from. I'm a Reiki master, I'm a Merkaba healer, I'm learning magnified healing, and there are some more like Lama Fera and everything are still in the pipeline. So slowly, steadily, I'm developing on that aspect as well. And plus, I'm again getting back into forex trading and stock market also. That's where I have to learn. I have not got into it, but slowly, steadily, I'll be getting into that as well. And I
Great.
have a good sound
Thanks,
knowledge
Regina.
of cryptocurrency also.
Wow. Okay. So that's really interesting, I'll tell you. From a
Thank you.
financial hardcore market person to a holistic healing journey. So
Yes,
nice
yes.
to
And
just Regina, I just try to understand that, because sometimes we come across people who are looking for some sort of connect on this path. So if at all that
yes,
sometimes we come across, we
yes,
can always talk on this. Yeah.
yes.
Thanks for.
Yeah, and two more things to add to this is like I have recently got clients for job manifestation and business growth. So these are the two key area right now I'm working. But on any health related issues also and relationship issues also, we have got tremendous results. That's one thing. And second, I have again got back into my voluntary services. So luckily this month you have kept no sessions, because uh, next weekend and the last weekend of June, I'll be into training of getting myself trained for the ECD, and I'll be starting my voluntary services as an ECD teacher, though I have a good experience in religious education.
Okay. Great.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosina.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Dhruv, are you ready with your PPT?
Yes.
Okay. And then we
Courtesy.
can take a combined sharing for both Dhruv and Rosina because we are last 20 minutes time remaining. Yeah, quick. Let's go on, Dhruv.
Just give me a second. Let me go into the presentation mode. So what I just give you context of what I have done. So Ashishji, whenever you do the sessions, I actually create notes and type it in my Word document.
Very nice.
What I've done now is asked AI to summarize it, and then I quickly created a PPT. So this is a 6 month checkpoint. Everyone can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
We can.
Okay. So mindfulness emphasizes the importance of learning and self-improvement, encourages creation of personal development plan to set and achieve long-term goals. So those were the two key things from the 2nd February session on mindfulness. Psychology of success, focus on mental aspects of achieving success. A lot of these things we have looked at it, and this is just a summary of it. Discusses the importance of growth mindset, accountability, and psychological barriers to success. Emphasizes the need for personal responsibility and role of emotions in achieving goals. Very, at least very close to my heart, saying, okay, it's like emotions do impact how we are achieving our goals. Highlights the significance of having key personal performance indicator for personal life and importance of learning from successful individuals. We have KPIs in our work life. We don't have KPIs in our individual life. This I had forgotten, but AI just brought it up to the surface. Emotional intelligence. Explore the concept of emotional intelligence, including self-awareness and managing emotions. Discusses various ways to handle emotions, both positive and negative. And Ashiji, one of the reasons why I said, if you can give us this 10-minute summary, these are the things which would come out very easily, because as soon as you go through that summary, you just come out with all your memories get refreshed and you can actually do it. And one of the ways, just as thought or suggestion is, when you start that daily thing, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, when you do a summary, create that as a separate recording, stop recording, and then upload that into YouTube, which would be really helpful to all of us.
Noted, Dhruv. Yeah.
Identifies the importance of understanding one's emotional triggers and impact of emotions on decision making. Provides practical exercises for recognizing and dealing with emotions such as body scan meditation. That was 11th May session. Mindfulness, that's 9th February. Discuss the importance of mindfulness in personal and professional life. Emphasizes the need for self-awareness and reflection to improve emotion and mental well-being. So self-reflection is very important. Earlier in the session, somebody, Rosina mentioned about diary. This is it's a way to do that reflection. Suggest practical strategies for incorporating mindfulness into daily routines such as meditation and journaling. Becoming trailblazer leaders focuses on leadership qualities and the mindset required to be effective leaders. Discusses the importance of time management in creating a clear vision of success. The role of companion in leadership and how it can enhance team engagement and performance. So leaders are companions, companions, and they should have compassion. Very important. Otherwise, without compassionate leadership, and that's the example which Colonel G had said about when he took that decision, he actually waived off that punishment because of the implications and being compassionate. Playing to your strengths, that's Kanika Kohli's session. Encourage individuals to identify and leverage their strengths and success. Discuss the concept of talent and how it can be developed through practice and experience. Self-awareness is one's unique ability, that's important, but I will add to it saying identify your weaknesses, not that you want to work on improving it, but how do you avoid situations where you will be forced to deal with your weaknesses, because then if you're dealing with your weaknesses, you're spending energy on it. So knowing your weaknesses is very, very important so as to avoid that situation altogether. And okay, let me use my strengths, because here, if this is the task which I take up, and something which typically happens in our when we are looking at a job. I know at times when I picked up a certain job, it was like, oh, I need a job. And Manoj Nairji, there were situations in my life where I was like facing that fork in life, saying, what do I do? There were job situation, and I picked up a job which was not on my strength. Within 12 months, I had to leave that job. It was like I realized I am playing on my weaknesses. Yes, at that time I needed it, but then I soon realized it was not the best decision. But yes, probably it gave me that breather space of 12 months to actually overcome the challenge. Peak performance. Discuss the strategies for achieving peak performance in both personal and professional life. Introduce the concept of emotional bank accounts to track emotional deposits and withdrawals in relationship. Suggest a structured approach to personal development through regular reflection and commitment to improvement. That's pretty much the last slide. Common themes across all these sessions was importance of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and personal responsibility in achieving success. They advocate for a proactive approach to personal development and highlight the significance of mindset in overcoming challenges. What we said is manage your mind, rest of the things would follow. It reminds me of RAS that controls your emotions or the data you feed it. Forgetting the full form of RAS, Ashish, you might.
It is reticular activating system.
Correct. RAS,
which filters the information coming in.
Which filters the information, and actually, if you control your mindset, it can show you all the positive aspects, or if you're emotionally down, it can show you the weaknesses, only the sad part or the negative part. Something which somebody mentioned to me is walk in the moon daily. Your emotions would be, especially when it is the waxing moon, it would actually help you improve your emotional balance. Something which I will be trying out. Practical strategies. Each document provides practical strategies to implement in their lives, including exercises through mindfulness practices, emotional management techniques, and leadership development. Focus on relationship, very, very important, which we discussed about emotional bank account and emotional deposits. And growth mindset, that's very important. Recurring theme, encouraging individuals to embrace challenges and view failures as opportunities to learn for learning and growth. In fact, that reminds me, just yesterday, my son and his friend were talking to me, and the friend was getting into engineering, and he said, electrical engineering is the most difficult thing. That's what he's getting feedback. But he's getting the branch as electrical engineering in a good college which he wants. So I said, I actually played out the video for him about who moved my cheese. and I also explained him some basic concepts of electrical engineering. And I said, don't just get emotional saying, oh, things are difficult. Even if you believe that electrical engineering is difficult, which I don't believe in because I'm an electrical engineer myself, you will still be competing with others who will also have the same challenges and limitations. So it's always a relative ranking. So as long as you're relatively better off in learning, you will be doing great. So that's the mindset aspects. So that's pretty much it from my side. Or from the AI side, I would say.
Thank you. And what I really loved was the summary that has come out, and that was an eye opener for me also. That these are the dominant themes on which I talk about, which underline all these sessions. So please share this presentation with me also, Dhruv. That will be helpful for me. And
Sure.
now I invite everyone to share their comments on what Rosina shared and Dhruv shared, and then we'll bring the session to a close with few announcements. Yeah. Anjana, you would, yeah, Manoj, yeah, go
Yes,
on.
Anjan.
No, go ahead, Manoj.
Okay, so one each for my takeaways from Rosina is about the money jar. So, with somewhere on the journey, I missed it. I started some long time ago, but definitely some of the aspects are helping me during my crisis time. So that's a good point to recollect. And for Dhruv, it was about the relationship, to manage the relationship. That was one of the nugget takeaway
Right.
from.
Thank you, Manoj. Whom would you like to call next?
Anjana.
Thank you, Manoj. I think one is thank you, Rosina. Some aspects were very different than all of us had covered. And to Dhruv, we finally see your AI skills. Thank you. And this is something I've been actually wanting to ask you. Tell me how I can do a PPT in like 5 minutes. There's these, this pop-up coming saying, learn to do AI in 5 minutes thing. And this is something that's really crucial because others are spending a lot of time trying to figure out how the placements and summarizing. Okay, thank you.
Dhruv can take a session next Sunday.
Yeah.
He's
I may not be there, but Dhruv, please, I'll have Vaishnavi plan it and help you get on a call. Yeah, and record so that I can catch it later. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And another thing that actually was something which was which Manoji also mentioned was in terms of the frequency you operate with, right? And Rosina again brought it up. A frequency above 200 hertz is something that's optimal. So I think Rosina, we need to get either some inputs from you or some sort of, fine-tuning Akashic, instruction which automatically gets our system to work at that frequency. Because sometimes we don't even realize which frequency we are in. So understanding from a basic level, if I'm like this, what is my frequency? And if I'm like this, what is my frequency? Will like actually help us quickly, reset to working in a better frequency.
So 30 minutes session from Dhruva and 30 minutes from Rosina.
Yeah, we will do that.
Okay. We can work it out.
Yeah. Thank you. And over to you, Shesha. Shesha, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to unmute, I couldn't. Okay. Thanks, Anjana, and thanks, Rosina, and also Dhruv. The one takeaway is generating passive income. So that is the most important thing. In a few years or probably decade, we would all be retired. So generating that passive income to give us the sustenance mode is really important. And and the next one on the Dhruv stuff is using AI. Also, it gave the detailed week over week thing on what was covered by Ashish. That was really good. Thank you.
Yes, Shasha, whom would you like to call next?
Yeah, Manoj.
Okay, thank you, Sesha. So for Rojina, I talked so on Dhruv. First of all, thank you for bringing the AI part smart bano. Use of technology. And one key takeaway from I think you touched upon almost on all the topics that we discussed, but one key takeaway that remained is we have KPIs in our work life, but KPIs to be for our personal life. So that one key takeaway remains, I think, somewhere missed out in the whole discussion I was having otherwise. But one thing I'll just try to bring a different thought here. I know Anjana had put a lot of efforts to put the PPT. Whatever time she had taken, and Dhruv had been quick to put this basically. There are two different aspects. If I see the creativity of presentation where the words were less, but more the figures were depicting in Anjana's, where it is like the LHD and the circle of influence or the Johari window and other things, those were speaking up a lot of things basically. And this is another way of seeing the things, like when the data are getting compiled in a different way and everything is written sort of thing. So definitely both the aspects has a story to say. And I think, yes, we need to leverage technology, but sometimes simultaneously our creativity have to come into picture also when you want to say a story. Okay. That is my take basically in a way. I'm not trying to put it otherwise, but yes, both the things are important. AI along with creativity is also very much required when you want to say a story basically. And when I walk into the boardroom, we see that, okay, now less writing, only pointers are required, and you tell the story. And the biggest learning for me is that you see the mood in the room, and you can just tweak your words, how to say the story, what story you need to say on that day. But if you are written hard coded, you don't have an option of like changing your tone. I am a finance guy, so it is black and white, black and white. I said that, okay, if you frame in gold also, it will give the true picture. So that is how I have to be. But still, like sometimes you have to see the tone in the room and try to see that how to rephrase or phrase that things. So Nuggets helps basically in telling a story basically. So that's how I take it basically. And wonderful thought, Dhruv, I think, to use of AI and how to summarize the thing. And then I will say that use the same thing with the creativity to put it in a different way. I'll try to do that hybrid model still. But picking up the data would be one thing that's keep with me basically, how to put the summarized way of doing things. Incidentally, I'll just say that now our Teams meeting and other things, they have put an autopilot in that. So every meeting, there is an autopilot that starts running. If you want to stop it, you can stop it. Otherwise, end of the meeting, it gives the summarized sort of data in a view to quick what so, and it can be immediately circulated what had happened. So people can focus on what is being discussed instead of writing notes. So that's how it is.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing that group. Otherwise,
Thank you, Manoj. Have we covered all?
I believe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Dr. Abhishek, he had left us.
He is left because he
Okay.
had to 10 o'clock class, no?
Yeah.
So
I'm
thank you,
left out.
everyone.
I'm
Rosina?
left out.
One thing, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rosina needs to say about Dhruva. Yeah.
Okay, Rosina and Dhruv have to talk about each other.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Dhruv. The point which I would take one takeaway was growth mindset. Okay, and yes, certainly that is more important than anything else. As we grow, till the time we don't have that growth mindset, nothing will work for you. We cannot move a single step also without that. So that's more important. And thank you for using AI technology. And as rightly said by Manoj Agarwal, that presentation is like I'm actually an expert in making presentations and everything, but I don't know the idea this time. I just skipped out. So yes, pointers are more important, and more graphical representations really help in understanding and taking a grasp. But yes, that was an impromptu system you did right away, and I would really love if you could share your notes and your PPT. That will be really helpful to us. Thank you. Thank you, Dhruv.
Thank you, Rosina. Yeah, Dhruv, you have the last word now.
So the health aspect, the frequency aspect, which Rosina mentioned, that is something stands out for me, saying have to focus. See, health ultimately impacts emotions, emotions impact health. So both of these things need to be balanced or managed by your mind, and you have to control your mind to be able to do it. There's, in fact, it has triggered a lot of other thoughts of past sessions of parasympathetic nervous system and RAS, and then your pituitary gland, and ultimately mindfulness and breathing exercises, and how these all interplay to actually create all the different dynamics which goes through a human goes through.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Dhruv. Very powerful. And thank you, each one of you, for sharing your takeaways, participating actively. And Sasha, yes, you want to share something?
Yes, one thing I wanted to talk was, yeah, it makes sense for conclusion of every part to have something like this, probably a 5-minute one instead of a longer one. So it helps us to recap what each individual has perceived and where we have missed to take notes or get the right information.
All right. Thank you for Sasha. Mentioning that, we'll try and incorporate that into
For
our
sure.
sessions. And also the feedback which Dhruv mentioned earlier also, and we repeated that today. So that is noted through. And in the next time when we start the next session that will be starting is Magical Success Rituals from 6th of July. That will be about 3 to 4 sessions. That will be followed by the TMOG, which is the Magic of Gratitude. That will be a month-long program, and then month-long but weekly sessions, and that will be followed by MSK, which is Mindfulness is Swiss Knife. So that should take us through July, August, September, and then October we will have the Millennium Blueprint, and we will close the year with the goal setting program. So that's our agenda for the next 6 months. Stay actively engaged. In this 1 month, please feel free to share references of your friends who could be invited in the next phase of the journey. So those who join us now can continue till June next year and complete the SLP journey. So Vaishnavi will be reaching out to you for 5 references. Please feel free to share the names of your friends or family who you think will benefit from this and would like to invite. So that is what I wanted to share with you. And while the classes will not be there, use this time to revisit any recording. Just send a mail to Vaishnavi and she'll share the recording and practice. I think that is something which has come out again and again. Practice, execute, be consistent. So use this 1 month for reviewing and practicing, and come back with magical success rituals. I'll share with you my magical success rituals, which have helped me tremendously. And we'll hear from you what you have and what is working for you, what you can incorporate. So that will be our journey forward. So once again, thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend and a great month ahead, and look forward to seeing you soon. And I'll come back and organize those sessions by Dhruv and others on the area of expertise that we have. So with Dhruv, of course, one is for SLP community and another one is for the overall mindful living community. So I'll connect with you, Dhruv, and see if you have the permission to speak publicly and from a corporate perspective, and how we can take that forward. So thank you. Bye. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Ashish ji.
Thank you.
Ashish ji.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.